Okay, so we have hit Devs episode 4, written and directed by Alex Garland. Now, what's interesting in the open of this episode is we see this rat that's shriveled up really quick. I wonder what that could be leading to. I'd love to hear people's theories on that down below because everything in a Garland project has importance. I wonder why we saw that, what that could be, especially with the Devs team. What I really appreciate about this episode is we got a little more into Katie, a little more into Forrest, and a lot into Linden. Now, with Katie and Forrest in the beginning, we're seeing they're watching footage. Again, breaking this rule they have of looking in the future, which Forrest just does no matter what. And we've learned Katie does as well, but Katie still tries to keep checks and balances there. But they're looking at footage of who we think is Lily dying in 48 hours. But that could be a misdirect. That might not be Lily. It wasn't confirmed. We'll see though. And it feels like a misdirect because it seems almost too obvious to have the next line cut to Lily saying, I think they're trying to kill me. Now, as I've said before, I think Jamie's becoming a fan favorite. I really like his character. I also like the actor who's portraying him. I think he's got a lot of personality in contrast to the character of Lily, who is not the most popular right now, but we'll see how that shapes out. Again, I was hard on her acting in the first 2 episodes, and I thought it was pretty good last episode, and this one I thought it was in the middle. I think we can average it out that she's done an okay performance, and it kind of brings the score for the show down a bit because you want the lead to be amping the show up and only adding to it, where I think it's just kind of she's floating in there. But we'll see as this goes to the second half of the season if it gets a little more better. But you see again how much Jamie cares about Lily here. It actually gets him to clean up his apartment that's usually messy. And what was great about the theme of this deterministic fate and that we really have no control over our future, it is what it is, what's going to happen, is that he wants to make it that he has a clean apartment to impress Lily, but then when he closes the door, the shelf falls down. Like, it's just deterministic in the sense that he's always going to have a messy apartment no matter what he does. Now, Kenton is kind of on this path to take care of Lily in this episode. He's almost like this Terminator villain in the show at the moment, but it works. I think the actor pulls it off well. He hits a nice nuance of not making it too far-fetched, just believable and doing his job for Forrest. Now, a lot of people have had theories about this homeless guy in front of Lily's place, that he might be CIA or something, that he's not what he seems, and they hint at this with the line where Kenton's like, why aren't you afraid of me? Again, could be another misdirect. We'll see. However, this is where Garland's writing to me has been a little sloppy. I don't think the homeless character is the best character so far. I think it's a little corny, to be honest, and something we've seen 100 times, and he's too almost good in a sense. I don't know. This is me just how I felt. I feel like it's something you've seen in like a 90s movie, the way he's written. But so be it. I think that was my least favorite scene, especially of how defensive he was of Lily. It was a little much. But the best scene of the episode to me and the best acting in the episode was actually Linden here. She really stole this episode for me. And when I say she, I mean the actress, Kaylee Spaney, because she's playing a boy here, which threw me for a loop because I thought it was still a girl character in Linden, but it is a boy, confirmed this episode. But Linden has this monologue scene here where she's explaining to the whole group of devs that she figured out a way to get through all the sound waves, which her job was listening to all of them, and to get the voice of Jesus here, for example. But Nick Offerman, aka Forrest, has the funniest line of the episode where he says that it's too seductive for all them. I can see with all your nerd boners. That was hysterical. But he totally brings down something they all thought they should be celebrating. But this goes to good character writing with Forrest, because it makes sense he wouldn't like this because he's so in the belief of everything's determined, and that this doesn't fit because this is a variation here. It's not exactly the Jesus from our history, he says. And Linden literally says, which is totally true, is that he's literally splitting hairs talking about it's not the same hair count you would have on that Jesus. And that's where, when you're going into why he'd be so angry about this, is that this roots down to his daughter, Amaya, he lost. And it's almost like he wants to stay in the mindset that whatever happened to his daughter, he had no control over. And if he goes down a route that there was a chance it could have been avoided, whatever happened to her, he's very sensitive and nuts about it. And he doesn't want that. It doesn't fit his theory and plan for this dev's operation to have variable situations now, to have a little bit variations giving these sound waves from the past. But what shocked me was him firing him. That was crazy. And then it was a really good scene with Linden and Stuart, where Stuart's just looking out for Linden like, look, you're young, you're rich, you gotta go. And she's already talking about Forrest in his own building, which is just a bad idea. And it actually makes me excited to see one of these devs go out now that we actually care about, and see maybe where she could go now, and maybe see Lily and be a big factor outside here to take down Forrest. But then we get to see Nick Offerman show off his acting chops in the scene with Katie, where Katie decides to kind of call him out for being really irrational and getting rid of their best developer in Linden. And then she shows him with her same theory from Linden, a version of it with the visuals, and we see now a full crystal clear image of his daughter Amaya, and he starts losing it. And this was just some top-notch acting by Nick Offerman. This guy's got some serious issues, and it really is leading towards that theory people have that he's trying to recreate his daughter, but to a T. There can't be any variation, and that's where he's conflicted, where he feels this emotion from this image of his daughter, but it's still not the exact image of his daughter. It's like he says, sitting to the left of the bench. It's not the exact hair by hair replication. So it's a cool storyline they're putting in here to have this devs team see these issues differently and have conflict within the building. And you could see Katie's character is starting to get frustrated with Forrest. So it's going to be interesting what she does, because she's like the second in charge here. So the dev scenes and the Forrest scenes were really strong in this episode. Some of the best we see in the series yet. Now back with Lily's story, which is definitely not as good. We see she's with this shrink, but it turns out this shrink that Kenton wanted her to go to is of course crooked and giving Kenton information on what she exactly is, and that she's not actually schizophrenic. That's all Kenton needed to hear now. Knows now she was lying and she's on to them. So he's gonna take her somewhere to kill her, but she crashes the car. And through this, she finally listens to Jamie to call the cops. But it's too late, because Kenton got to them first, tells them she caused this car accident, and they arrest her. And now Kenton's here with Jamie. It's a crazy cliffhanger. I love Garland's music skills. He always amps up the suspense with his music. I'm just ready for another episode here. This was a solid episode. It was definitely better than last week. Definitely better than the second episode. Maybe not as good as the first, so I think it's fair to give it an 8.3. Now, let me know what you thought of this episode down below, and please let me know your theories on this show. I'd love to hear any theories you guys got or any explanation you have for different things explained. There's a lot of tech talk in here and a lot of talk about quantum physics and time and deterministic futures, all those things. Break it down below. I'd love to get a discussion going. And please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss one of my reviews of devs. I'm also doing Better Call Saul right now. I'll also be reviewing the show Little Fires Everywhere. I also do celebrity interviews, so you want to check those out as well. And please follow me at SteveVarley1 on Twitter and Instagram for more of me. And I'll see you next time.